season. Season 1 in the books, and now we are ready for Season 2 of 5 Happy Minutes. I want to, I'm going to keep you in a little bit of suspense about what the big return is, but first I will introduce the 2 guests that I have this week. First, we have the Stink Train, Eric Helmholt. Welcome back.
Stink Train coming through. Whoop, whoop.
All right, and then we had a last-minute change in guests, but I think we got the better of the Mostrums here. So we have Doug.
That's right.
Chicago Cubs jersey and all. Welcome back, Doug.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before we get too far into this week, I do want to let you know that next week the big surprises and returns will continue. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. We're planning a show next week, Tuesday, probably 9:30. I'll confirm that a little later this week. But that being said, the big return is obviously the show. Everybody should be happy about that. 7.5-week break. We're back. Show's back. The cheat's back. The second biggest return.
It really felt like 8.5 weeks for me.
Yeah, I figured it did. Maybe even 9.5.
No.
The big return is the return to video. Long time abandonment is finally over. Out of the cellar, back on video for the first time in probably forever, it seems like.
Everyone shut your computer. Oh, that!
Right there.
Why do you have that?
Because I'm the only one that'll treat it the way it deserves. You see this?
Didn't you have the license plate?
This thing is... I will hold all the trophies in this league. This thing is less than 2 years old, and it looks like it's been treated worse than Janae Rice.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow,
That's terrible.
Too soon.
There are scratches all over this thing. It is ridiculous. I think they used it for a hockey puck. I mean, Scott didn't have it nearly as long as Mike, but I mean, this is a travesty. This is a travesty.
That would have never happened to a belt.
Exactly. Might have got a little blood on it from getting knocked over somebody's head, but so anyway, I've taken it upon myself to pamper the trophy, to keep it in good hands. Whether or not I win it this year doesn't matter. It deserves to be treated better. So for the next 3-4 months, there it is.
Thanks for holding on to it for me.
Yes. So I don't know if it went over everybody's head, but I thought that was a pretty good Janae Rice joke. But anyway.
I said too soon.
Maybe too soon. Might always be too soon. So we've got 16 days until football comes back. 16 days until hopefully most of the league will get together to welcome football back. Regular season, not preseason. Regular season football back to our lives. What I wanted to find out from you guys, I was hoping that you could, this will be real quick, but what's one of the things you were the happiest to see happen in the league to your team or another team or to a player over the past 6, 7, 8 weeks? In that time, we've had our free agent auction. There have been some trades, some rule changes in the league. We won't get too detailed into that, but give me the thing you were happiest to see, regardless of team or player.
The thing I'm most happy about, besides Jordy Nelson and Kevin White going down, is getting that second round. I think that it's important because impact rookies should be drafted. They should not be available in the free agent auction. So I'm happy that we finally, after like 7 votes, finally got that to pass.
All right. Good. Doug, what about you? What's one of the things
I was going to say very similar things. Eric and I are on the same page with that. Happy with the second round. Happy that Nelson went down. That's good for my Bears and good for fantasy as well. And then next year, hopefully, comes back, and I'll have a nice receiving core next year. So I'm happy.
All right. Fingers crossed there. Trying to think of a good way to word this. I guess maybe looking back over the past 7, 8 weeks in the season and such, looking for what was the biggest surprise, the most unexpected thing that happened? Maybe it's something you've already mentioned, but that you weren't expecting. This time period starts after Scott selling his team. to Aaron, so we're not gonna talk about that. But most surprising or unexpected thing to you?
For me, it was a lot of Aaron's trades. I know he wants to make his own team, supposedly, but I don't know why you change a team that just won it and get rid of some of your future, Robinson, Brown, Matthews, when you already had a solid core. So some interesting moves from Aaron. We'll see if it pans out or not, but I would say my biggest surprise.
Yeah, I'm happy with a lot of the moves that Aaron has made as well. I consider him one of my two biggest rivals coming into the season. And then Mike is just no fault of his own, has lost guys due to injury. So I might actually put whoever comes out between Doug and Andy as my biggest competition going forward. I don't know. The biggest surprise, Derek and Berta finally got something right. He hung on to his Devontae Adams stock, and it finally paid off for him. So this relates back to Jordy Nelson, obviously. But Derek, I think, is probably the favorite between himself, Ferguson, and the host here to guarantee one of the wild card spots. And I think a lot of that is due to the fact that he does have Devontae Adams, top 15 wide receiver potentially now this year.
If one wide receiver can blow out any, two wide receivers can blow out any.
I go with Jason too. I mean, he's going all in, and I don't know why. Maybe to hit the playoffs, but I don't see him going any further than that.
Jason, you're talking about?
Jason, yes.
Okay.
And he's losing.
Next week he's selling.
Yeah. I mean, next year he's going to have two guys with more than half of his cap, so that'll be interesting to see what he does in the future.
Hey, Derek Lehman almost beat me in year one with that same philosophy. So, almost.
Well, you can make the playoffs with that philosophy, but that's about it.
Yeah. Jason better hope he wins this year because he's got no depth. He's got no cap room going forward. He already knows how I feel about his moves, though.
All right. What is, whether you want to call it, a formality, it's in the books, it's going to happen, or just one big surprise out there? Give me a prediction for this coming season. Not who's going to win it all, unless you think, Derek Laurie's going to win it all, or I'm going to win it all. But I mean, something that's going to. I mean, who's of the guys that everybody expects to make the playoffs? Are we going to see somebody? Are we going to see those injuries catch up with Mike, even though he made some trades? That he's going to miss the playoffs? Is it what's? I think it'd be tough for him to miss. But give me an idea. Give me a prediction for this season.
Well, this is the formula that Jared used last year to make the playoffs. Last year at this time, we were looking at Andy being the clear-cut favorite in his division, and Adrian Peterson beats his kid, and it all goes downhill. I mean, Mike has lost two of his starters on an already very, very shallow team. He did nice to make some moves to make it a little bit deeper, but Mike's another injury away from being really, really depleted. Not that Jared has a great team, but he's got enough players that he can get through the bye weeks relatively unscathed up until this point. I'm not saying that Mike is going to miss the playoffs, but it is possible, with one more injury, that he really takes a nosedive.
I don't know that anyone can catch Mike in his division, even if he has another injury. That division's just not very good. So, luckily, he's in a nice division where he can still win that, even if he does have an injury or two. But I think our division between myself and Andy is going to be a nice battle. That'll be fun to watch throughout the year. I think a lot of the other divisions have those favorites, but between myself and Andy, that will be fun.
Over under 9.5 wins for yourself, Doug.
We play 13 games?
Yep.
I would say I get 9.
Okay.
I would say under.
All right.
All right. Well, some interesting things to think about. One of the things I'm interested to do is take that bet spreadsheet. I'm not involved in any of them, but I think I might keep a tally, unless you're going to do that, Eric, throughout the year with some of those bets. I think it'll be kind of fun to see how those play out in the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah, have at it. I know that the one that I know that I will probably keep track of is my bet with a dude that's not even in the league anymore, where we picked our third, fourth, and fifth wide receiver off our team back in April or whatever. It's a fun bet. It's too bad that Scott's not still here.
Well, it's similar to a bet you have with Aaron, which is kind of the same team, but running backs.
Yeah, that one I'm not as excited about. It depends on Foster.
Yeah.
I did hear some promising things that he might only miss 2 weeks of the regular season. I still take the over on that, but if I get him back still like week 5, I still like my chances against Aaron in that bet, because my three running backs are a lot better than his 3 running backs.
True. All right, any parting shots, Doug or Eric, before we sign off here?
I gotta consider myself the favorite this year, the way that it sits right now. Aaron, super thin. Mike, super thin. Andy and Doug will be battling.
Roster or hair?
What?
Roster or hair?
I can't say a whole lot in that department. So.
All right. So Eric is the favorite. Doug, what do you think?
I think this is. If Eric doesn't win this year, I don't know what's going to happen. Because I think the next 3 years, I have a nice run going. So, Eric, if this is the year, better make it happen. Because after this year, watch out.
The Dougie train is coming.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on. It was short notice for Doug. He was able to take the place of Mike very well, might I add. But hey, here's what everybody's playing for. Somehow, by chance, I'm the one who has it. I don't care how I get it, but I'll hold on to it. And a little bit of another surprise, another return next week. Hopefully everybody can tune in. We'll look to do it next Tuesday at 9:30. All right, see you guys.
Thanks, Roger.
All right, thanks a lot.
Peace out.
Peace out. Fear the cheat.